Acting Chair Patel. We are live.
All right, thank you. The August 30th, 2024 Oregon State Lottery Commission meeting is now in session. It is noted for the record that commissioners are attending this meeting via the web. Chair Satoff and Commissioner Weller are excused, and a quorum of commissioners is present for today's meeting. Today's meeting is being live streamed on the internet, and a link is posted on the Oregon Lottery website. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Acting Chair Commissioner Patel.
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Here.
Commissioner Wilcox.
Here.
Will the clerk please inform the commission of who else is in the meeting?
Yes, joining us today is Nate Carter from the Department of Justice.
Okay. Members of the public have the opportunity to provide written public comment to the commission for this meeting. Can the clerk please confirm that no public comment was received?
That is correct. We did not receive any public comment this month.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to the director's report.
Thank you. Good morning, Acting Chair Patel and commissioners. Today I have a few bits of news, a sales and finance update, and a couple winter stories. A handful of digital billboards with our advertising were compromised recently, showing cat cartoons and other content. The screens were down for less than a day, and further investigation revealed this was a global problem for our vendor and not a lottery-specific issue. Earlier this month, we held our first hybrid all-hands employee meeting with a goal to learn, connect, and gain inspiration. It was our first in-person all-hands since the pandemic, and it was very successful with a great turnout at headquarters and virtually. The full-day program featured a very impactful address from Dr. Mandy Vance, Oregon's Teacher of the Year, who shared how lottery's support of the program has been life-changing. The event also focused on staff presentations, collaboration, employee engagement, and empowerment. And we send our thanks to everyone who helped plan and participate in what we hope will be an annual event. Let's turn a little bit to sales. So year over year, overall products are trending down 7.9%. This is largely due to variations in jackpot sales. Both Powerball and Mega Millions sales are down in comparison to last year because of the record jackpots we saw during that period. Scratches remain strong and are up 3.4%. Sales of Sky High Crossword, released in March, and Tidal Treasure, released in May, continue to expand the percent of sales for the $20 price point. It grew from 18.5% to 24% year over year, which is an increase of nearly 10% from just 4 years ago. And this translates to a higher average purchase price, which is up nearly $1 since 2021. Sales of the $20 price point nearly equal the $1, $2, and $3 price points combined, while 4 years ago, it was less than half of those price points combined. Video lottery is down a bit from last year, with sales coming in 1.3% lower. Sports betting continues to have strong numbers, with turnover trending up over 31.8% from last year. So a little bit on finance. As you know, we are no longer walking through a detailed finance report each meeting, but you can find the comprehensive monthly statement in your meeting packet. Of note this month, after a thorough review of budgeted items, the financial plan statement was updated to reflect a more accurate breakdown of direct and indirect expenses between the product lines. All totals remain the same, but the distribution between products is slightly different than the presentation that was adopted previously. So let's talk about some winners. A couple from Florence won big with a Keno 8-spot bonus. This turned out to be a $41,398.60 jackpot. Marcy and Tracy T purchased their ticket from Jerry's Place in Florence, and the two are taking a 6,000-mile road trip, so the win is well-timed. Jamie H. from Salem bought the If Wishes Were Fishes Scratch It from Walmart. After scratching off the ticket to reveal 9 fishes, she came in to claim her prize of what she thought was $500. However, when she presented the ticket to our player services staff, she was surprised with the news that it was actually a $10,000 winner, the game's top prize. She left our office overjoyed. In sports betting, we had a notable win from the Olympics. A customer from Happy Valley placed a $1,000 wager on Scotty Scheffler to win the Olympic men's golf tournament at 14-1 upon winning gold, and the customer collected $15,000. And before I close out this month's director's report, I'd like to thank Commissioner Patel for his exceptional service to the lottery. His final term concludes September 25th. He'll be back briefly at our next meeting, but we want to share now how Commissioner Patel has been an invaluable asset to our team since 2016, providing insightful guidance, thoughtful questions, and a thorough review of our operations. Throughout his tenure, he has witnessed and actively participated in significant advancements within the lottery. We are truly grateful for his dedication and commitment to our mission. Commissioner Patel, thank you so much for all you've done for us. And that concludes the director's report.
Thanks. The minutes of the previous commission meeting have been circulated to the commission in advance of today's meeting. If there are no changes to the minutes, is there a motion to approve?
I move that the minutes of the Oregon State Lottery Commission meeting held on July 26, 2024 be approved as final as presented today.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Okay, so Commissioner Ramirez and
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox
Aye.
and Commissioner Patel.
Aye. For the record, the motion is passed. We'll be moving on to the financial report.
Good morning, Commissioners, Deputy Director Calandrello. For the record, my name is Monique Favre, Financial Reporting Manager for the Oregon Lottery. I am presenting on behalf of Christy Comas, the interim CFO. Today, we will go over the financial report for the month of June and year-to-date for fiscal year 2024. June net revenues are $116.1 million on a budget of $113.9 million, generating a favorable variance of $2.3 million. Net revenues year-to-date are $1.444 billion on a budget of $1.427 billion. This is a $16.4 million favorable variance to budget. For the month of June, total gross wagering was 0.4% more than anticipated. Although Powerball and video product sales did not reach expectations in June, sports wagering was over forecast, helping to net the small positive variance for gross wagering. Sports betting continues to exceed budget as sports wagering is currently not included in the OEA forecast and has not been adjusted for the increases occurring. Although video gross wagering was less than anticipated amounts, the actual prize rate was 92.6% compared to the budgeted rate of 92.7%, allowing net revenues to be slightly more than budget. Year-to-date, net revenue, now compared to the June forecast, shows revenue after prizes close to forecast, except for the sports product. Net profit for the month is $80.3 million on a plan of $70.5 million, creating a favorable variance of $9.8 million. Net profit year-to-date is $940.1 million compared to a budget of $874.2 million, causing a favorable variance of $65.9 million. June favorable net profit from operations was driven generally by net revenues from sports betting, higher than anticipated indirect revenue, and lower than anticipated indirect expense. June indirect revenue includes a $1.2 million contract penalty levied on our gaming vendor and $2.4 million in interest earnings on cash balances. Year-to-date, favorable net profit from operations drivers are interest earnings and savings in indirect expenses. Both traditional and video year-to-date game vendor charges is favorable to budget, generally because of a shift in priority, causing a change in promotion strategies, so vendor system changes were no longer needed. Sports game vendor charges are over expectations both month and year-to-date due to sales being higher than anticipated. Lastly, I'll mention salaries, wages, and benefits. Salaries for June were unfavorable $287K and year-to-date were favorable $2.5 million or 4.84%. Other payroll expenses, this includes benefits, taxes, and retirement, were favorable in June $4.4 million. In June, final expense amounts were received from the state for lottery share of the state's pension expense. Monthly estimates were accrued through April and stopped when we received an estimate for the annual expense. Once the final amount was received, 3.4 million of previously accrued expense was reversed and a credit for retirement expense was recognized in June. Year to date, the actual OPE rate of salaries was 56.1% and it was budgeted at 55.2%. However, salaries under budget for the year resulted in a favorable variance of $881K for OPE. We have one additional pass-through entry from the statewide reporting team for securities lending. They are expecting to send us the entry detail in mid-September. This entry will have a zero net effect to both the operating statement and retained earnings. Please review the comprehensive variance analysis provided in the commission packets and public meeting materials for detailed explanations of the monthly and year-to-date differences between the budget and actuals. I also have the balance sheet for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Were there any questions? Is there a motion to approve the financial statements?
I move that the Oregon State Lottery's year-end financial statements for fiscal year 24, which ended June 30th, 2024, be approved for the record as presented today.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye. For the record, the motion is passed. I believe next we have some alternative disclosure requests.
Yes, thank you. In your packet, you should have a memo regarding alternative disclosure requests for APRO LLC and Plaid Pantries, Inc. The memos provide additional specifics. However, as a quick reminder, the alternative disclosure process was adopted in 2015 to reduce the personal disclosure requirements for qualifying companies. To qualify for an alternative disclosure, the applicant must be a public company or multi-state chain retailer with at least 30 retail locations, $10 million in gross sales and over 300 employees, or an entity owned by a federally recognized tribe. To date, the commission has approved the use of the alternative disclosure process for 10 separate entities. Director Wells and I reviewed the specifics of APRO LLC and Plaid Pantries, Inc. and find they meet the OAR requirements. So with that, we recommend we use the alternative disclosure process for APRO LLC and Plaid Pantries, Inc. and am seeking your approval to do so.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve the alternative disclosure process requests?
I move. Oh, go ahead, Marty. I just lost the page.
I move that the Oregon State Lottery Commission approve the alternative disclosure process, waiving the personal disclosure requirements for APRO LLC and Plaid Pantries, Inc. as presented today.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ramirez,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox,
Aye.
Commissioner Patel.
Aye. For the record, the motion is passed. Are there any commissioner communications or any other business?
Yeah, I'd just like to add a little bit to what Deputy Director Calandreo said earlier regarding Commissioner Patel. He's been a great mentor for me, and I'm sure other commissioners as well. His steady leadership and keen intelligence were always on the forefront for all of us. Might I add that he's always smartly dressed.
No.
And I want to thank him for his dedicated service to all Oregonians.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'll be at the next one for a few minutes, sir, just the beginning. So
Good. It'd be good to see you
Last
again.
And I guess this concludes today's meeting of the Oregon State Lottery Commission. The next meeting is scheduled on Friday, September 27th. Thank you all for attending today's meeting. This meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you all have a safe holiday.
Me too.
You too.